Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
Tasmania has recorded a further 44 coronavirus cases overnight, bringing the state's total to 160. The Department of Health also confirming no further staff or patients at the Royal Hobart Hospital have contracted the virus after a worker tested positive 2 days ago. Prevention and control measures, including additional testing of staff and patients, are being undertaken as a precaution. COVID concerns didn't deter shoppers at Boxing Day sales as local retailers were flooded with bargain-hungry customers. Tasmanian spending is expected to climb above $60 million for what the industry calls the biggest trading day of the year.
Splashing the cash, these shoppers were ready for a post-Christmas splurge.
Yeah, Boxing Day sales were here from Melbourne for a couple of weeks, so we love it here.
I bought some albums, I bought some makeup, yeah, pretty much it.
Oh, we're just shopping for clothes and all the sales that are on.
The Foot Locker have 50% off, which is pretty good.
Masked up, hundreds took to malls in both Launceston and Hobart as retailers enjoyed a rush after a tough 12 months without interstate visitation.
Boxing Day is the top day for us normally. It always is, so it's fantastic.
We seem to get busy about 10:30, 11 and it goes on to the rest of the day. Boxing Day is probably one of the best days for trading for us.
Despite growing COVID cases, the current climate didn't seem to deter many from snapping up a bargain.
We definitely feel like it's a lot busier with the borders now open. We're getting a lot of people coming in and buying, so we've definitely seen an influx of people this year.
You can see the amount of people walking around with shopping bags, the amount of queues that are in shops, etc.
The National Retail Association is forecasting a record-breaking $61 million will be spent by Tasmanian consumers, with open borders also providing a further Boxing Day boost.
We know that people and consumers out there are being comfortable and they're feeling confident about going back into store, and it's really got a lot to do with the fact we are used to masks, we are used to checking in.
Tasmania's industry leaders are also expecting a major return from one of the biggest trading days of the year.
I'm not sure that today's quite as manic as it was this time last year, but nevertheless, it seems there's plenty of people out taking advantage of the specials that are going to be in just about every shop there is.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmanian News.
A Hobart midwife and mother has been remembered as a kind and supportive person following a horrific Christmas Day wounding in Mornington. 52-year-old Rachel Wake sustained serious injuries before dying in the Royal Hobart Hospital late yesterday afternoon. A 60-year-old man has since been charged with murder. A GoFundMe page is now raising money for her 2 teenage children who witnessed the incident. Police are urging anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers. Tasmania's newly minted electric scooter trial in Hobart and Launceston has already hit a hurdle. Disability advocates are urging users to be more mindful when parking them around the city to avoid unnecessary disasters.
They're fast and plenty of fun.
It's just like a fun way to get around places and hang out with people, and yeah,
it's really fun to ride and they're not too expensive.
But not everyone is using the e-scooters responsibly.
We will walk down from Melville Street and they're everywhere.
There was a few irresponsible people going at crazy speeds, but other than that, most people are being quite safe and wearing their helmets.
CCTV capturing late-night hooligans using the scooters to allegedly vandalise a car in a popular Hobart street. Disability advocates also left frustrated by some riders carelessly dumping scooters on walkways and in front of building entrances.
We don't have to have lots of accidents. We don't have to have lots of blood on the streets for it to affect people with disability and older people and people who may have anxiety moving around in the community.
The state government is warning riders to use the e-scooters safely because whether you love them or hate them, they're here to stay, at least for the next 12 months.
Just don't be a bloody idiot on these things. They're I think a welcome addition to the state, but it only takes 1 or 2 to put the whole program at risk.
Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian organisations are continuing to wrap their arms around the community affected by last week's Hillcrest jumping castle tragedy. The Jack Jumpers are donating all proceeds from the merchandise store at today's game to the Hillcrest Community Public Fund. Both teams, the officials and the crowd, observed a moment's silence before the match, paying their respects to the 6 lives lost. The Jack Jumpers have shaken off their shooting woes to snap a 4-game NBL losing streak. The side refound their offensive rhythm against the winless New Zealand Breakers, collecting their second victory of the season.
Back at the home nest and sorely in need of a win, the Jack Jumpers faced off against last year's Tasmanian tenants, the NZ Breakers. The side had struggled to score in recent matches, but Sam McDaniel's ever-present defensive pressure created points early.
Good as Sam McDaniel making things happen.
And the competition's assist leader Josh Majette was quarterbacking passes with ease.
Sprints the lane and scores.
As a team, shooting 50% from outside in the first half and taking a double-digit lead into the break. That was cut to just 4 as the Breakers' Jeremiah Martins scored 12 points in the third quarter.
Martin for 3. Boy.
But Captain Clint Steindl's sharp shooting was as reliable as ever.
Steindl rolls into his shooting position. He's 4 of 4.
Surviving a late charge by New Zealand to take their second win of the season by 9 points.
When the ball goes in, it opens up a lot of things just in general, and I thought our shot selection for the most part was pretty good, and our intent to drive the ball when we needed to was also very good.
Import Josh Adams shook off a form slump, scoring 21 and pleasing his coach.
And I think Josh is, bought into the fact that, he can be very dynamic getting to the basket and creating problems there, and I loved his intent to get to the rim and create fouls.
The Jack Jumpers will now host Melbourne United on New Year's Day, hoping for their first back-to-back wins. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening. 23 was the state's top today across Launceston and Devonport, Burnie 20 and 19 in Hobart. 18 about King Island and Bushy Park, Lowhead and Flinders Island 20 and 17 in Strahan. On the close-up, cloud is seen over most of Tasmania and surrounding waters. Further out shows an active and widespread cloud band over Northern Territory associated with a tropical low near the north coast. Tomorrow, lows and associated troughs are persisting over northern Australia. South to southwesterly winds tomorrow 15 to 25 knots, swells up to 5 metres in the west and south and below 1 metre in the north. A strong wind warning is current for the upper east coast. Tomorrow's forecast now Hobart and Dover 19, ooze partly cloudy. In the north, Launceston 24, sunny across Devonport and Scottsdale. Sunny in Burnie and Stanley tomorrow, Strahan 18. St Helens and Swansea partly cloudy and 21 in Ross. The UV forecast is extreme 11s across the state. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast now, Tuesday fine apart from light showers about the southwest, Wednesday fine with light winds across the state, and Thursday fine with light winds and afternoon coastal sea breezes. Capital cities 40 and very hot in Perth tomorrow, showers in Brisbane and 26 in Adelaide. And currently Hobart 13, mostly cloudy, Launceston 18, Devonport 18 and sunny. And Lou, we can look forward to even more great summer weather with the next 7 days in parts of Tasmania, all above 23 degrees.
That's wonderful. We certainly deserve it for now. Thank you so much for that, Jackie. That's all your news for this Boxing Day evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Good night.